Welcome to Club 120, the ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball!
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. Time to grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me, as always, is a man who is still waiting for his roster invite to spring training. Neil, what's on today's lineup card?
Oh, yes. Man, gosh, what would I give? Oh, man. What? Hey, welcome. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to our listeners. It is season 2, man. I could not 30 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting at spring training. I am so jazzed. I better stay seated. We've got a big one to kick things off today. We start with MIA in Miami. New year, new ace. Jed flips the Cubs' #1 prospect to bring in Edward Cabrera, and suddenly the rotation looks real. Then we move on to Big Bat Hunter. It took 2 tries, but Jed finally bagged him a Bregman. Was it persistence or desperation? And we'll get into elephant or elephants in the room. Nico's name is back in trade rumors again, and Matt Shaw's situation just got a lot more complicated. After that, we'll jump to who's next. Is Jed done making major moves, or is there still another shoe waiting to drop? And finally, our topic of the week. I cannot wait for this one. Defer or die. Has Tom Ricketts caved on a core principle, or is deferred money just the new fad? New season, new energy, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about MIA till Miami. New year, new ace. Yeah, how do you feel about it? Owen Casey gone?
Sure. Well, let's just start with how we got here, right? Outside of a couple of small moves and Caleb Thielbar re-signing, it was pretty quiet this winter, and we really wondered what Jed was up to. And so he really was kind of MIA until he popped up in Miami, right? And then we had 2 hours of silence. Wasn't that a wild ride? That was fun. I think probably 82% of Cubs prospects had a hand on a suitcase and the other hand on their cell phone with their agent, right? Like, there were so many names flying around. But Neil, the biggest point here that we have to remember is we have to go back to last season and how this move came about. When we didn't have Cade Horton in the playoffs, that was a huge disadvantage. There was just no velocity coming out of that, out of the starting rotation. And it was hard to trust guys to get 15 outs. And Jed knew he had to go get somebody. And I think that he did. If your window's now, this was the play. He needed an elite arm. We needed an elite frontline guy to pair up with Horton and the rest of the group there, and to kind of to toe the line and to lead that. And I think he did it. Do you feel like he overpaid here in this situation, or was it a fair market value here?
Oh, man, I wish I could to jump all the way ahead to our topic of the week. I wish I could defer this answer to mid-season, because I'll be honest with you. I think we overpaid? I don't know until I know if Cabrera can stay healthy for a full season. And that's a big question mark for me. There's some elbow issues there. I think they did a physical. I'm not positive on that. Would I have done this deal at the beginning of the offseason if you'd have said, hey, we're going to go get Cabrera, but it's going to cost you Owen Casey? I would have done the deal. I would have done it at the All-Star break last year.
Ooh, okay.
And maybe we win that series if we'd done it at the All-Star break last year.
Well, he's definitely his name was floated,
and
right? And then
to me, you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The durability is always a concern, Neil, when you talk about a shoulder and a pitcher, especially a pitcher that throws 100 miles an hour. It's such a tender joint to keep healthy, and when you're already showing signs of that at his age, there is a huge flag there, and it is red. But when he came back a couple weeks later and was still throwing just as hard, there hasn't been a dip in the velocity. Maybe it was a cramp or some sort of a lat issue he had. Who knows? But the reality is, yes, it is scary, but we do get him for 3 more years. So I do believe at some point we are going to see a really nice, healthy run from this guy. And it's going to be really exciting because there's not much in the game right now as far as velocity and movement that is better than what he's got.
So you don't feel like we overpaid at all? You feel like it was a pretty good deal?
Well, I threw it out there when everybody was throwing wild packages around in that little 2-hour silent period. But when you look back at last season, the number 3 overall prospect in MLB netted Mason Miller. And so I feel like if Owen Casey was involved, that was pretty much the package. There's not going to be a ton after that and some big 3 top 10 guys or whatever. It's just a pitcher. He's going to throw every 5th day. He's probably going to hit the DL. All of these things are real, and so that's real. We want to say, oh, this or that value. Look, 1 for 1, I think that's what it was, right? Like, it's our best prospect versus their best pitcher, and that's what it netted. So I'll take it.
All right. Well, if you're trading prospects for arms, you better be serious about the lineup too. Let's move on to our next topic. Big bat hunter. It took 2 tries to bag Bregman, but it looks like we finally did it. So, the Cubs identified the bat they needed. They stayed on it. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I think the market was 4 guys, and we've already dated 2 of them. And the outfielders were out. Like, we're out on Tuck, and I think we're out on Belly. I think we kicked the tires, but really when he said 7 years, we're like, gotta go. We hung up real fast. So it was down to Breggs and Bo. I don't know where the conversations, broke down with Bo, but Breggs was there. This has been a 2-year rumor that finally came to fruition. I think they liked him then. They still liked him today. I think that at the end of the day, he's the guy that has got the ring, and that's what I think pushes him past Bichette as far as the shininess, if you will, right? I think he really does. That championship pedigree coming from the Astros really is something that the Cubs signed up for. They really want that in the clubhouse. They want the ring. They want that. That's why they wanted Tuck too. They want the winner, and that's what they're going after to centerpiece that and to have somebody to talk about the postseason with those guys and how to get it done. We had a taste last year, so this is just an upgrade for that. If you throw the money out, don't talk about money. We can talk about that later. But how do you feel Breggs fits with this team, given we walked away from last year with Matt Shaw at third base and feeling like that was a good heading to a sophomore season?
Yeah, no, 100%. I like Shaw at third base, but I like Bregman better. And here's the thing. And I know we're going to talk about elephants in the room on the next topic, so I won't go too much into it. But if you got Nico and you have Bregman in the top of your lineup, like, let's talk about PCA. Let's say PCA is hitting in that 4th, 5th spot in the lineup. And to get to PCA, you got to face Bregman, who strikes out less than 100 times a year. You got to face Nico, who strikes out less than 100 times a year. You got 2 guys in front of PCA that are going to see 12 pitches in every at bat. Absolutely. By the time they get to PCA, it's like, geez, my pitch count's getting up there. I just got to groove one here and let the kid hit it as far as he can.
Well, don't forget you got Bush too, right? So, that's
but Bush is no pun intended, but his last name ought to be Ambush because he is when's the last time that guy's seen 3 pitches in a count?
Well, that's true. But if you're talking about who's scaring guys, who's scaring pitchers, and that's there. I mean, the most valuable bat out of last season was, as far as thump is concerned, was Michael Bush. So he's going to find his way there in the top 5 of the lineup all year. So even if he's not, Craig wants to do that Nico and Bush at the top, that's fine, whatever. But Bush is not dropping more than 5. So it's all there. with that fit, does that, as far as the stress in the room, was there any thought? Do you think that they hesitated at all with Bregman at third and Matt Shaw? Like, how was that discussion in the room? Is that quick or is that a long discussion?
No, I think the discussion is because I'll be honest with you, I think Bo Bichette was on the short list, but I think the deal was if you come to Chicago, you're going to have to play third. And so I think this has always been the plan, whether it be Bo Bichette or whether it be Bregman. The plan was somebody's going to be playing. Now, do I think Matt Shaw is going to play third? I do. I think Matt Shaw will still play some third when there's a lefty on the mound. You might see Bregman DH and Matt Shaw in the lineup, or you might see Shaw DH. But I don't know that we're done. There's a lot of names being floated around out there. Real Muto is being floated around. There's Brendan Donovan. There's some real hefty names being floated around, and it's like, man, we've towed up to the luxury tax and kind of just barely gone over it. We might as well just jump in the deep end. If we're going to go chase a pennant, let's go do it.
It's real quick.
But let me ask you a question. Does Bregman instantly become the most important bat in the lineup for you?
Yes, because when you take Tucker away, and for all it's worth, there is value in Kyle Tucker sitting in that lineup all year until they realized that they could get him out in that certain way once he was injured, right? But until then, having a guy that you just can't figure out and that can beat you in all parts of the field and can just lose one in the, into the bleachers, yeah, absolutely. I think he ties it all together, especially if he can hit in Wrigley, right? Like, they overlaid, I don't know if you saw this, but they overlaid his Fenway numbers to Chicago. And he would have added like 6 or 7 dingers because the wall just took him away. He just hit a line drive off the wall, 19 feet up, So I think I think we're going to see that jump. And it's going to be really nice to see a right-handed bat because Craig can't seem to figure out if there's too many lefties, right? This is an easy one for Craig to just plug in there and just put guys around him. And that's a huge deal.
Yeah. All right. So every big signing creates a ripple effect, and that brings us to elephants in the room. Man, there are so many elephants in this room. Let's talk about the main one, obviously. Is Nico on the block again? And what are we doing with Matt Shaw's situation? We've kind of already hit on that a little bit.
I got one question, and this would be for Jed or for you, Neil. You can play GM here. If Nico Hoerner is so replaceable, name the player in the organization who already does what he does at his level and is actually ready to play 150 games with a team that's expected to win 93 or more games.
Can I go ahead and stop you? Because I don't know if I need to stand up for this one. Do not trade Nico Hoerner. Like, if you trade Nico Hoerner, this deal was not worth it to me. Now, I might be in the minority. Everybody's jacked up on Bregman, all right? Like, I'm out if you trade Nico Hoerner. Like, to me, Nico Hoerner is the franchise player. Like, Nico is the gold glove guy, the guy that doesn't strike out, the guy that does what you want him to do. The only knock that you can find with Nico is that he doesn't hit for power. But who cares? He plays the game the right way and does everything the way it should be done and produces. And there's absolutely, if they trade Nico, it better be for the best closer in the business or the best freaking starter in the business. Like, because to me, if it's not one of those two, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't see how this keeps getting floated. I don't. I feel like he put it to bed after last year. I felt like, okay, I get the rumors last year, right? Last spring training leading in there were some Nico rumors. And you're like, like he doesn't hit for power, like whatever. And then he literally puts out the signature baseball season. Like, I love watching Nico Hoerner play baseball because, like you said, he does everything right. Everything. Except pop it out of the yard twice a week. Sucks. But Unfortunately, in today's game, that is the key, right? Throw it hard and hit it far.
Yeah.
The bottom line, Neil, is you're right. You don't trade players like Nico unless you already have his replacement in the bag. So I think this is a product of two things, really, when you break it down. This Cubs roster is full of expiring contracts. And when it comes down to that, there's so many contract discussions that are being had, right? For Ian Happ, for Nico, and Seiya, anybody that's basically coming down. This is just one of those tough conversations that it seems like they're viewing all their options. Okay. Unfortunately, this one was just ended up out loud. And that sucks because I don't think that the Cubs are really fully interested in trading Nico unless he says he wants 120 million. And then they're definitely interested in trading Nico.
Well, I've got two things to say about the elephants in the room. And man, I have been waiting all freaking offseason to say this stuff. First off, I don't want anybody to be on the freaking Jed bandwagon now. All right. I feel like we've been tooting Jed's horn all last year. And now it seems like, oh, Jed's all in now. Tom's all in. We're okay. Like now all of a sudden you guys are okay with Jed and Tom. Like, give me a freaking break. All right. Like he put a 92-win team on the field last year, made the playoffs, 92 wins in the playoffs, under budget, saw what we needed, and he went out and freaking did it. Get off his back. Number two, extend Nico Hoerner. If you're not going to trade him, freaking extend him. Like all last year we talked about Jed extensions. Let's extend Nico. Like, how about that?
Okay. I like it. Okay. Well, if we extend Nico,
I'm fired up.
We have Nico and we have Dansby and we have Bregman. Okay. I believe we're talking about one of the top infields in the game. What are you going to do with one of the top prospects in the game, Matt Shaw? Because that's the other elephant in the room now. And let's be honest, whether he created it himself by lack of production or presence in a game, if you will, Matt Shaw just seems like they just never committed. Or are they committed? I don't know. What is the Cubs' stance right now on Matt Shaw? Can you enlighten me a little bit on what you feel like they want to do?
No, I can't because I have no idea what their plan is with Matt Shaw. But I will say I feel like they're the same with Matt Shaw. I feel like about Moises Ballesteros. Like now, JT Realmuto is being thrown around. Like, how about we put Moises Ballesteros in some catching drills and have him block some freaking balls, and then we'll take care of itself. Like, why do we need to go out and get him? Because again, we're just going to be doing the same thing with Matt Shaw as we are with Mo Baller. We're just going to be kicking that prospect can down the road a little bit to where we have these guys, but we don't trust them enough to play them, or we don't trust them enough to bet on them. And that's fine. But it looks to me like we pivoted a little bit, like maybe, obviously you and I have been big fans of Jed, and we were on the extend Jed bandwagon for a long time last season. And now it's like, I feel like Jed and Tom might have pivoted a little bit and said, hey, we have this good farm system. It's time to trade them in for their value.
Right.
And where half of the Cubs fan base was play the kids. And Jed's saying, that's not why we developed these kids. We didn't develop them to play them. We developed them to pawn them.
Well, there's two capital, right? I mean, that's capital. If Tom's not going to give you money every day to go spend $360 million, then you got to have some capital somewhere else to get some guys like a Cabrera who's going to cost you $5 million this year, 11 next year, and 18 in his last year of arbitration, right? Like he's going to go up that little ladder here, but that's 3 controllable years for a top end guy. Here's the question: are any of these guys cornerstones? Are any of the Cubs kids cornerstones, or are we going to have elephants in the room every offseason because so-and-so's blocked and ready? He got a chance last year, but now there's a Bregman or there's a Bellinger or, I'm just using names we've used in the past, but like there's a guy that's got a pedigree, 3 all-star games and a ring just sitting there to play right field now, and our next prospect's a right fielder, right? Like, when does that stop, or when do you start value with the kids?
Yeah, I think to me, I've already flipped that coin. Like I'm ready to move on. Like let's we got Bregman for 7. Is that right?
5.
5. Well, how many we got
Mhm.
left with Dansby?
3.
We got 3 with Dansby. I'm ready to offer Nico 5 to 7. I don't know what we got. I don't know what we got with Michael Bush,
He's
but
in arbitration still. He's on his rookie deal.
you got Shaw, who's a utility guy. We got him for probably another 6.
Yes.
So, I think we've gone from where we were 0-sum Tom to now we got
Luxury tax, Tom.
let's just put some guys on the books and let's roll it out there and go. Yeah, let's go win the division about 4 years in a row before we have to worry about who's playing where.
It's a good problem to have, right?
Like,
and we looked at it right now. When
okay,
anybody says, "Oh, the Cubs are trading for somebody," and you're like, "Where? Where is JT Realmuto going to play right now?" Right? Where is it? Where are we going to find at bats though for these kids? Right? It's a tough problem to have, and maybe that's just, hey, sometimes we should just show up on opening day and just be a fan. Like sometimes I wish I could turn my brain off and do that, but there's just too much fun math to do in between then, right? So the question is, who's next? What's next? Jed's on fire. So do you see there being any more major moves here before we hit spring training?
Well, man, that was you stole my segue. That's what is Jed actually done. So that's it's kind of where I'm at with it. Man, I don't know if he's done, to be honest with you. I want him to be done because I do feel like if anything, unless he's going to go get a reliever, I'll take another.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about
No. Doesn't have to be a closer. Doesn't have to be a closer. Just another bullpen arm. Like I feel like of all the guys and in the trades of who's come and who's gone, I feel like we're still down a reliever. So
are you counting on Porter Hodge in that?
I am, but that's a big question mark for me. So I don't know what I'm sure the Jed and those guys, they know what kind of offseason he's had. They know. So I would say if he's not done, I want a bullpen arm.
Okay.
But anything else I feel like is a Nico trade, and I'm not interested.
Okay. Last year during the trade deadline, your number one deal was, I want a closer. I want a closer. I want a closer. So where do you feel like now that you watch the playoffs and how Craig manages this bullpen, obviously in crunch time, do you feel like a closer would be utilized the way you want him to be used at 12 to 15 million? Are you okay with him coming in the 7th inning in September, October?
Let me I don't have anything in here. Let me rub my crystal ball here and tell you what I want. What I hope is happening. And what I want to happen, okay, is in 30 days when they come walking through the door and pitchers and catchers show up for the first time, I want somebody on Cubs social media staff whose job it is to take pictures of these guys showing up for the first time. I cannot wait for that picture of Daniel Palencia to surface. And he's 15 pounds lighter. He is a solid man who has done nothing but devote his offseason to being the Cubs closer. And he is going to come back a bad man. That's what I want.
Okay, so that's what you want. Do you have any, like, have you seen pictures? Like, is this like
No.
Luka?
No,
Luka showing pictures of him losing 15 pounds a week type of deal? Like, is this like you've seen Danny shredded or not?
I have not. No. I'm sure. I mean, maybe he has an Instagram. I could be. Yeah, I mean, he could. I mean, for all I know, he could be, halfway through a bag of Cheetos right now. I have no idea, but what I want is what I described. That's what I want. I don't want to be spending my All-Star break going, good God, I hope the next 4 weeks before the trade deadline, we go get a closer.
Okay.
I hope we have a closer, and I hope he's the baddest MFer out there.
Good. I love Danny. I want that to be the case. I don't want to go sign a guy for $15 million. I really don't. I don't really think that there's that many guys that are worth that in the back end of those bullpens, right? Because you can find a guy for $3 million like Brad Keller to do the same thing. So that varies to me. Bullpens to me just need to be flipped over. Besides your youngest guys that you have control over, those need to be flipped over probably 60 to 75% of the time, like every year. Like Thielbar's back, great. Keller gone, Pomerantz gone, okay. So we lost 75 or 65% of our top 3 guys last year. Got it. And I'm not terribly mad about that because there's going to be 2 more guys this year that are going to step in to do that. I do have a little conspiracy theory I'll drop here. Just as we sit today, the Cubs currently, as far as the luxury tax projections are concerned, are about $12 million into it. Nico's salary this year is like 5.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm aware of the but I think I don't know. I think there's other ways we get that, honestly, and I think they're all in. I think Jed and Tom got their taste of playoff baseball at Wrigley and said, I like this, and man, I would really like more of it. And I think the amount of money that organization made in those 3 games at home, I think the luxury tax is a drop in the freaking bucket.
Oh, I think it's a drop in the bucket for Tom anyway, which, I think that gets us to our next segment.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still looking at. I mean, the Cubs as an organization, you want it to be profitable. Like you can say break even all you want, but in today's world, sometimes as a Fortune 500 company, break even is profitable. So, that's everybody taking home their salaries and all that. So, I think I think it's right where he wants it. I think he's willing to pay that luxury tax. I think, and I also think no one knows what's going to happen with this lockout coming. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Maybe the owners think they know, but I can promise you they don't.
Well, I mean, either way, he did put some goodwill to the fans if there is a long lockout. He did spend some money before it. He didn't hole up and shell up this year and just play the kids and run out there with a $186 million payroll like he could have. He did chip in and he did make a commitment. I'm looking forward to this run. But I would have never guessed.
Let's talk about the topic of the week here. Defer or die. Has he caved on his core principle, or is he just adapting to the new landscape of Major League Baseball?
That's a good question. When you look at it, I think deferrals can be looked at 2 ways. If you're going to spin this positively, and I'll look at it this way, and that's kind of how I did. I think deferrals are leverage, and I don't think it's recklessness to an extent, because I think there's only less than 1% of players, less than 1% of MLB players should be getting a deferral if they wanted it, right? Like, I understand we're not going to give mid-level guys extensions just so they can get $500K for the next 10 years. We're not going to do that. So I think it's not reckless. But to me, I think, honestly, Tom was running this business like it was a Dave Ramsey cash-only system. Like, this is like money management. And while everybody else was just exploiting the CBA, it's a loophole, right? It's a loophole advantage that they haven't closed yet. And I think Tom was out here running a cash business, and everybody else is leveraging a little bit later to take care of now. And it's getting them where they want to go. Look at the Dodgers. So I think it just shifts the control. And I think Tom's willing to shift that control. Because if you're going to give athletes tons of money up front, okay, then that's their job to manage that interest and opportunity. But if Tom gets to keep a little bit more of that, well, he can take that compound interest. He understands how that works. And he can work that for growth over a longer period of time. I guess. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to go out there for about 5 or 6 guys. I think Bregman's it. And if you're not better than that, it's going to be a hard no to do something there. The question here is this, Neil. At what point do deferrals stop being controversial in the game and they start being recognized as the competitive advantage that they are right now?
All right, you broke up in the middle of that question, so I didn't really get it all.
Sorry. At what point do deferrals stop being controversial in baseball and they start being recognized as the competitive advantage that's already baked into the CBA?
Well, if there's probably 6 people on this planet that listen to us regularly, so those 6 people probably know how I feel about deferrals and deferred payments. And this, to me, and I could be wrong, but you know how I feel about deferred payments. And I feel like that means that Tom has come to terms or the realization that he and his family will not control the Cubs for the rest of his life. That at some point he will exit the organization and the organization will be for sale. I say that because I think in my mind, and I could be way off, but my philosophy, as I've explained on this show before, is that if you are okay with deferred payments, you also do not care about the organization 10, 15 years from now because it's not going to be your problem. And I feel like Tom was playing the long game for a very long time. Like, I'm going to own this organization for 15, 20 years and maybe pass it down to my kids. And I think maybe there's been, maybe there was a fight at Thanksgiving and Tom said, screw you all. I'm not passing down the Cubs to you didn't pass potatoes, or like every fun, awesome Thanksgiving, we got into politics and the mashed potatoes got thrown. And now the Cubs are going to be for sale in 15 years.
Okay. What about the neighborhood? What do you feel like him getting more control in the neighborhood maybe puts that into perspective? Like he might be selling the whole block, including the stadium eventually. Like, is that the final boss move for Tom Ricketts is I'm selling Wrigleyville?
No, I don't know. I don't know his plan, but man, wouldn't the ultimate middle finger, or not necessarily the middle finger, I don't know why, but the ultimate move would be to sell the team, but keep everything around it. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that's generating all the outside money.
You just see him wave.
Just keep making money. So, yeah.
It's just hello, old friends.
I don't know. I mean, we're putting down payments on problems that may never happen.
Oh, so did he.
You were breaking up really bad. I have no idea what you just said there, but I'm sure it was good.
Yeah, you said he was putting down payments on problems. I said, well, he did with Bregman. He's putting down payments later. Just a nice little third baseman he bought with some deferred payments.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I don't know. I hope I'm alive to find out if he was playing the long game or not. Like I hope I'm around that long. We'll see.
Are there deferred payments in podcasting?
Yeah, we're still waiting on them. Yeah, I can't wait for them to start. To be honest with you. All right, that's it, man. That's our show, season 2, episode 1. I am so pumped to be back. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad we're doing this. And man, hey, pitchers and catchers report in 30 days. 30 friggin' days, dude.
I'm excited. I already set out my spring training agenda, so it's out there, folks. Just need the other half of this show to commit. But we'll get there. Got some pre-existing engagement first.
Yes. Yeah, got to take care of business first. So, all right, man. Well, hey, that's it for our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow at Club 120 Show. You can visit us on our website, club120show.com. That's all for us. We will see you next week. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!